Okay. Hi. Good evening. Welcome into the show, everybody. This is The Slate. If you have never heard of us, we are a DraftKings program that we air in that 5 o'clock Eastern hour. We take you up until 6 o'clock. We get the latest for you on the slate of games that may be in focus. And this time of year, as we know, we are heavy football on this show, very much so on a Monday. We wrap up week 14, which was a high-scoring week. A lot of teams on the bye, as we know. So if that messed up your fantasy teams, apologize. Today, the underdogs are back on track. They went 7-4 yesterday. Overs were 7-4. We can talk about the week that was. To me, Jeff, just real quick before I set up the rest of the show, I felt yesterday was some clarity. This time of year, we're reminded injuries, guys are in and out. Good teams survive and win. Bad teams are the bad teams. So you may not have covered the spread, but if you move on, take care of business, we're at that point in the year after Thanksgiving. You take the win however you can get the win, no matter how bad it looks. One side of the ball versus the other. If you get the win, you get the win. Patriots Cardinals is tonight, and then we can look ahead to the games later this week, which, by the way, we have one game on Thursday, 3 on Saturday, and then the Sunday slate. And bye weeks are over, which is great. So,
right. The good old Saturday slates are back. Right. Yeah. I forgot about that.
And pretty
Those
good
are their
game.
own. Yeah. It's like a mini. I mean, it's not like a mini. It's basically like it's like the Thanksgiving slate, which is awesome for DFS. The three game slate, always a ton of fun. Got lots of late swap options. And then coming up after that, I mean, the wild card weekend is also for DFS, just one of the best slates of the year. So yeah, lots to look forward to still, man. I mean, it's kind of one of those things like, yeah, it's like, oh man, we're already at week 14. The season's almost over, but like some of the best like DFS and betting and stuff is still coming up. So yeah, I'm kind of excited for this game tonight for betting purposes. I think there's gonna be a lot of points. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, my favorite bet, 43.5 was the over. It's moved to 44. It's obviously, you'd much rather have it at 43.5, just that half point, but I'd still take the over at 44 if it stays there. Getting, minus 110 on both sides. So nothing big going on. But I think that when you look at what Arizona's done since DeAndre Hopkins has been back, pretty much people are scoring against the Cardinals, but they're pushing the pace of the game. I mean, Kyler Murray is moving the ball. He's scoring. He's getting some points on the board for the Cardinals, and their defense just can't stop people through the air. So I think Mac Jones will take advantage of that tonight. And I think the Patriots will put up some points, and I think the Cardinals will keep this game close, and they'll probably go over.
There are some injuries in this game, both offenses without a key receiver. Jacoby Myers for New England, Rondale Moore for Arizona. I think a big piece in this game, just from a Patriots standpoint, for their offense to find some sort of rhythm. I thought they looked good Thanksgiving night, but they reverted back to their old selves against the Bills. But Byron Murphy, slot corner for Arizona, he's an important piece. Like, we're going to probably give the Cardinals defense a hard time. They're not that good, but a key piece to that defense is Murphy. Him being out is huge for the Patriots side. And you think there's going to be some points in this game? You do. I'm surprised by that.
You kind of hit on it. Like you kind of, I think you made the argument, but you didn't get there. Like 2 games ago, the Patriots offense looked terrific in a dome against the weak NFC defense.
Roof is closed tonight too. Good point.
They're in a dome against the weak NFC defense tonight. And you just mentioned their top corner is out. Like the Cardinals secondary. Yeah, you mentioned Byron Murphy Jr. Like, he is quite good, but like the rest of their secondary is not good. This was a team, remember, at the start of the year, dragging people off the waiver wire just to put out a starting secondary. It's still not a good secondary, and that's where you attack them. And look, like Jacoby Myers being out, that kind of stinks. If Jacoby Myers was out, I'd be very bullish on him, and I'd be even more bullish. But still, like, you look at the Patriots lineup, they have Bourne, they have Parker.
Yep.
They have Aguilar. They have Hunter Henry. They have 2 tight ends. They have Ramondre Stevenson. Like, all they have to do is keep Mac Jones upright. I mean, Mac Jones, when he was upright against the Vikings, looked extremely good. I think he completed like 19 of his first 20 passes or something ridiculous like that. I think
the Vikings game.
Yeah. So, you don't have to give the Patriots a pass against the Bills, but like the Bills are like the best team in the league. They have a defense that just swarms and they make a lot of people look bad. So this is a completely different matchup And yeah, I think Mac Jones bounces back. I think, the passing game, what he was saying on the sidelines, I think that probably works into it a little bit. I think you're going to see Mac Jones air it out a little bit, and I think it'll probably lead to some back and forth scoring in this game.
That game against the Bills felt forever ago. I can't believe that was.
Well, and that, to your point, like the Vikings game, felt like 2 months ago, but it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was 2.5 weeks ago because it was Thanksgiving, but it was 2 games ago. Like it wasn't that long ago that the Patriots put up. I can't even remember how many points they put up in that game. It was
26, I think.
And they should have had another touchdown, right? So,
Yeah, it's Patriots have had a weird schedule. They played Thursday, Thanksgiving, Thursday, Buffalo. They get the full week of rest for playing on Thanksgiving, and then you get Monday night. So it has been a weird schedule for them this season. Look, you're right. They have the talent. They have the pieces. It's a matter of their play calling, and that was Mac Jones losing his mind on the sideline.
Yeah, and I think
it just feels like they're playing not to lose, though. The game plan against Buffalo felt like, let's wait for Buffalo to F up and make a mistake, and we'll take advantage and win the game 17-16, as opposed to trying to play and get Mac Jones into a rhythm like they did against Minnesota.
Yeah, and I don't know how much how much credit you give to the Bills, but maybe it was bad game planning. Maybe it was the Patriots trying to be conservative and stay away and keep Mac Jones out of trouble. That's certainly what Mac Jones was implying it was. Mm-hmm. But again, like Bill Belichick does tend to do that. He does tend to game plan towards opponents. So if he did that against Buffalo, it doesn't shock me. And again, I know I say Bill Belichick, and I know it's like, Joe Judge and Matt Patricia, and everyone's making light, but like realistically, I think Bill Belichick is kind of telling them what to do. So I think in this situation, what Bill Belichick is going to tell them to do is the complete opposite of what they did against Buffalo. So again, this is just me. I always, we're trying to read the tea leaves. We're trying to look at matchups. And I just think that you're going to see a bit of a different Patriots offense, and probably just a lot different game than we saw against the Bills. So
Cliff Kingsbury does not do well against the spread post week 8 in his career. 10-24 straight up, 12-20-2 against the spread. He v. Belichick. Typically the Cardinals, when they're a home dog, they're a team to lean to. Any team that's a home dog is someone to lean to these days in the NFL, but they are a home dog in the spot, plus 2.5 tonight. Belichick has performed well on Monday night with the Patriots. The stat that's been going around today is ATS record with Brady, ATS record without Brady. And to me, that reeks of, I don't know. I mean, I think I'm not sure if DraftKings has put that out there today, but it feels like they want some folks to buy in on Arizona and get the tickets are pretty even right now. Tickets as well as percentage of bets, the money that is coming in on the game. So, okay. So you like an over. Now, I feel like every time we're on here, we're talking unders. But if you like the over, are you looking, let's go to the player prop market. Who are some guys that you like to shine based on that hope that we go over tonight?
So
I dropped my pen.
Like just in terms of the player props, right?
Yeah. Well, I think, if you don't have a play, you don't have a play.
No, I do. I just wanted to make sure. Sorry, you cut out there for a second. I just wanted to make sure you're fine. But so, again, I mentioned if I think that this is going to be more like the Minnesota game, I want to target some Mac Jones props. I think, again, you've got a weak secondary. You got a secondary that's out. You've got a target share with the New England Patriots. It's going to be more condensed without Jacoby Myers. And I think you can take advantage. Like I made a single game parlay today, Mac Jones over yards, over his yardage prop, which they don't have it up a regular prop, but you can get that in the single game parlay. Mac Jones, 1.5 touchdowns. And then Hunter Henry touchdown, Nelson Aguilar touchdown. Again, so you're playing for a passer heavy game. You're playing for a couple guys, Hunter Henry, who's been a good downfield target late. He's averaging was close to 15 yards per reception over the last 3 weeks. Aguilar, we know kind of the stretch option, going to get more looks tonight, maybe even work in the slot a bit with Myers out. I think, that those are the kind of props I'm looking at. You can look to the alternate lines on DraftKings as well. Mac Jones plus 100, I threw out this morning, 250 yards. To go over 250 yards or more. I think those are good options. I think that you'll probably at the very least see the Patriots try and throw the ball more. So
What was the third one? So to throw over 1 touchdown.
over 1.5 touchdowns, over his yards.
Yep.
And then touchdowns, Hunter Henry to score a touchdown.
Yep.
And
That's
Nelson
a good pick.
Aguilar to score a touchdown.
And Nelson Aguilar to score a touchdown. Okay.
Because we're going for 2 touchdowns. So why not try and pick both of them? So what are we getting? There you go.
Plus 1,900.
Yeah, as you should.
Okay. Now let's pick this apart. So Aguilar will in all likelihood be in the slot tonight with no Myers, which helps your pick. We talked about Murphy being out for the Cardinals, so that should open up. Also, and sorry if you just said this, I was just, you know what it goes. I'm trying to listen to you and surf through this sports book, which is great, by the way. It's just like a freaking maze. Also, nice little fix here. They got the player, the player faces on the players now. That's pretty cool. That's the first time I'm seeing that.
Yeah.
Nice little feature. It helps shows like this, with the screen share. Hunter Henry, the tight end, has been a really challenging position for Arizona to cover. We talked about Juwan Johnson weeks ago with New Orleans. He filled in for Troutman. He caught a touchdown. George Kittle, standalone spot. I think that was Monday night, Mexico City. 80 plus yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. The Cardinals can't stop tight ends.
Yeah, no, if I was betting one guy just to score touchdowns tonight, it would be Hunter Henry. That's where my money would go. So, again, trying to work him into single game parlays and stuff like that as well, I think is smart. It's touchdown. Like, it doesn't mean he's going to score one, but I think it's a really good spot for him. And like I said, like, he's been getting those kind of like deeper over the middle targets, which, sometimes can lead to just like a 20, like kind of like Kittle scored against Arizona, if I'm remembering back correctly. So yeah, like Hunter Henry tonight, I think there's a good chance he finds the end zone, and certainly like him in DFS and on the props as well.
All right, let's go to DFS and we'll just kind of pick this apart quick. Then we can start looking ahead to next week for a little bit. From a DFS standpoint, you haven't really said much about Kyler Murray. What's your angle on Kyler today?
I like Kyler. I do. I think when you're looking at this game, again, I talked about Hunter Henry. If you're going to go for a deep value pick, like for captain, it would be Henry for me. I don't think you have to, but like, I think he's in the mix. Okay. What is his price actually for captain?
Yeah, 8,400 for captain.
You can do a lot with that, but Kyler and Mac, I like both. I already talked about Mac Jones, so obviously I like him, but Kyler I like too. You look at the Patriots, what they do against Russian quarterbacks, it's not very good. They don't scheme very well. They really never have. See, it's the one thing like about the Bill Belichick defenses, I feel always gets a little bit exploited against Russian quarterbacks.
Well, see this year, Lamar Jackson early in the season shredded them, and the Pats, that was a shootout kind of game.
The Bears beat them, didn't they?
The Bears beat them. That was the coming out party for Justin Fields. We thought, well, the Bears are really bad. The Patriots, if I recall, were 7.5-point favorites. It was going really poorly for Justin Fields and the Bears. Play calling into question, no pieces around him, no protection, running for his life. And that was kind of a springboard game for Fields until he got hurt. I'm trying to think of some other guys that have been good. But yeah, the mobile guys have been held in check by Belichick, the lesser opponents, that is, not Josh Allen. Josh Allen's also been one they've struggled with. But yeah, Jackson and Fields are two that jump out to me this year too. And Fields was Monday Night Football.
Yeah. So again, like, I think Kyler will have a good game too. That's part of the reason why, I just, really like the over. And I would work like the over total into like a single game parlay as well. So, but yeah, Kyler definitely. I think that the argument versus Kyler with Mac Jones is interesting. Mac Jones is like $2,400 cheaper. I do like both the quarterbacks here. I like Ramondre Stevenson as well, but again, like, he's a main carry running back. That's great. But let's not forget, like, the Patriots still have a lot of targets. If you go Mac Jones, I think you get a much lower owned Patriot captain than Ramondre Stevenson. I think Stevenson could be the highest owned captain tonight. It'll either be him or Murray. And I think Mac Jones will be like the really like contrarian play to put up there. So those are my 3 favorite captains for sure. They're all viable. like pure upside wise, it's pretty hard to go against Kyler Murray on any slate. He's a rushing quarterback.
Yep.
What they do, what he does, like in terms of like just rush attempts, designed rushes on his own, it's pretty hard to replicate. So Murray and Mac Jones, though, I do like the spot for Mac Jones. So those are the three guys. I think Stevenson is the one I'd be most apt to fade. I think he'll be the heaviest owned. And I think he's got like a lot of variables. I mean, he's a running back, but if he doesn't find the end zone, if he doesn't get, if the game flow goes away from the rushing game, and maybe he doesn't get that big screen. I mean, Stevenson could end up with like 15 to 20 catches or 20 points, and Mac Jones could end up with all the touchdowns and throwing for 300 yards and end up with like 27 points. So,
do you pay up for this guy, DeAndre Hopkins, most expensive guy on the board?
Yeah, Hopkins is just too expensive. I mean, like he could obviously go off. I mean, it's not like he can't do it. Obviously, he could, but I think that with Marquise Brown back, that hurts his upside. Similar kind of type players. Brown obviously has that big play potential. Take away some of the scoring from Hopkins. It's really just a price thing. If Hopkins was down near Stevenson, I'd probably say, well, you should be taking a chance with Hopkins over Stevenson because he'll be lower owned. But the one thing with Hopkins is he may not have much ownership as a captain, but I just feel like, with Hopkins, like you're basically asking him to outscore Kyler Murray because he's more expensive than Kyler. And Hopkins can go off and Murray can still easily outscore him because of his legs. So it's really hard for me to recommend DeAndre Hopkins. Like I think you're fine fading him. I think you can obviously stack him with Kyler and you'll have to go, some extreme value if you do that. But as far as Hopkins going for a captain, that's why I just didn't bring him up. I don't think this is really the spot. So,
okay. It's a good way of looking at it too, from a price standpoint. And that's not the first time that's happened, right? Where Hopkins pops up as a more expensive player than his quarterback.
He tends, I mean, he's been really consistent. He's been getting a ton of targeting. So not shocked to see him priced up.
Yeah.
I mean, if he wasn't priced up, he'd be, Stevenson's going to be popular for a reason because of his price, and Hopkins is obviously there and won't be as popular. James Conner is probably like the big contrarian option. I mentioned Mac Jones.
Yeah, I've never seen James Conner at that price, or that's pretty whopping.
Mac Jones and James Conner are going to be contrarian. I prefer the Mac Jones option as a captain far more than Conner. Conner needs that volume. I mean, yeah, he could grab a couple touchdowns, but like his last game, a perfect example, scored a touchdown, got 25 carries, and he still only topped out at 25 points. Like, it just feels like he's not going to get that explosive, like long touchdown to kind of push you over the edge. Maybe he'll get you 2 touchdowns, but he might only end up with like 80 yards. And his passing game usage it's been steady, but it's not like fantastic. He's not really that great a pass catcher out of the backfield. So yeah, Conner to me, I'm okay just leaving off. He'll be a contrarian option, I guess. And you can mix him into like lineup pools, but I'd also be okay, like just fading him in the spot. I think if he does end up getting there, it'll be something slightly fluky, like he ends up with like 7 targets, or maybe he ends up with like 2 reds at like 1-yard touchdowns. It wouldn't shock me. He could get there, but I don't really love it.
Wow. Even this game, the last game the Cardinals played was that 1-point loss to the Chargers when they went for 2. That feels like forever ago.
2 weeks ago. Yeah, I know.
It's something. I guess it's the holiday.
Was that in prime time?
No, that was in the 4 p.m. window.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that actually that night game was Green Bay, and they went on the bye as well when Green Bay played, when Jordan Love checked in, when Jordan Love was out there, I think. But anyway, that's the last. So both teams are coming off some rest, but the Cardinals did come off the bye. Cardinals and Panthers were on the bye after that last week. So, okay.
Cardinals big, or Panthers big win. I mean, by the way, that was my big call last week. Coming off the bye, smoked Seattle at home. I think they're going to win that division. Panthers.
You do?
Yeah.
Still play the Bucks head to head one more time.
They got a good defense, man. The Panthers defense is playing well.
What a freaking roller coaster year. You fire the coach, you trade McCaffrey, and they're still in it, to your point.
Yeah.
I mean, they had to win that
Darnold
game.
played well Darnold's playing pretty well.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield and Darnold are now playing well. It's really weird. Anyways,
Well,
we shouldn't give Baker too much credit.
Weird, or you're just calling out that maybe Matt Rule was not cut out for the NFL.
Well, that too. Yes.
I mean, look, that Baker story, I didn't do the show last Friday after that game, but Baker, that was impressive. That was a feel-good moment for Baker.
Oh,
Mayfield.
Super impressive. Yeah, no, I'm not trying to take it away from him, but I mean, at the same time, like, I don't want to say he's playing well because he played like a good half of football. So
yeah.
Sample
All right.
size.
Let's look at the slate for this coming week. Those Seahawks are home underdogs, +3.5. Slight juice on the Seattle side against San Fran, San Fran with Brock Purdy back-to-back weeks. They've looked good. They're still running the same plays. They aren't changing the playbook for him. This isn't one of those things where you go from Mahomes to Henny or I'm thinking of another example, Justin Herbert to Chase Daniel. Like, they're keeping this. This is the Jimmy G offense still for San Francisco, and Kyle Shanahan is showing off that no matter who's at quarterback, he can make his thing work. But the weapons have been great. No Debo in all likelihood in this game with the high ankle sprain. Any interest in looking at Thursday? Do you take the bait on the Niners plus money, or is Seattle sneaky in a good spot here? This is a must win for Seattle.
Yeah, it's a must win. It's tough. Like, everything in my blood here says to fade the 49ers, like, and take the Seahawks on the spread. I don't even know if the Seahawks will win, but like, this is just classic Brock Purdy coming off the big game. Everyone's back in on the 49ers. Everyone's in on this guy. The Seahawks feel like last year's story already. Like, you know, Geno Smith is still playing good football. I get that their defense is having trouble, but they've got elite wideouts. It's a bad matchup for the San Francisco 49ers secondary. It's Seattle at home. Seattle got caught by a team in the Panthers whose defense is better than people think. They had a week to prepare. This is Brock Purdy's got to go on the road to Seattle now. Like, this is different. He doesn't have like Shanahan and his dad in the stands. This is Seattle, man. Like, you know, I'm just gonna say, like, I don't think I'll be betting the 49ers here. I'm pretty sure I'll be waiting because what I was doing quickly, and I'm gonna do it right now, is just see where the money's coming in, and if it's pouring in on San Francisco, this should get up to 4.5. I think 4, even at 4, I'll take it. Whatever. Wait a little. I'm probably gonna take a bite of the Seahawks. It doesn't feel good, but like I said, we're at this point in the year where I just feel like this point in the year, I almost always get in a groove with betting, and I'm there right now. And it just feels like you can just smell the overreactions, you know, like, and right now the overreaction is Brock Purdy's God. The 49ers can't be stopped. The Seahawks suck again. People are taking victory lap. Like, this Geno Smith is clearly the best quarterback in this game.
Yep.
The Seahawks have great wide receivers. Deebo Samuel's out, and they're at home against the last pick of the draft. You got to give the Seahawks a little credit here, man. Like, so yeah. Again, I don't know if the Seahawks pull off the win. It's still the 49ers, but I ain't betting the 49ers this week.
Yep. That's why I teed you up. Are you going to take the bait? Right. And that's where we're at, because not only you feel like you're in a groove, but so does Vegas. So does everyone else. They've got an idea of what they think people will do.
Yeah.
Like last week with that Detroit Minnesota game, right?
Yeah, they suckered the public in, man. I mean, they said,
and it worked. The public was right. Everyone was right.
Here's Minnesota +2. Here you go. Take Minnesota, guys. And you know what ended up happening.
Right.
The Lions covered easy. So
right. Or just folks thinking, all right, well, we'll take the Vikings on the money line. I'm getting plus money.
Sure. Come on. I'm sure a lot of people did that. So
yep. Well, I know some folks that were. Yep, exactly right. So yeah, that feels, if you like Seattle, I actually think, to Jeff's point, you can wait a bit, because that money, as he said, is coming in on the Niners. Get a better number, swoop in Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon, whatever it may be. Okay, this one.
Which one?
Sorry, I was about to say it. We've got a couple more minutes. Why? Okay, the Browns are favored on Saturday afternoon against the Ravens. Like, what have we seen to this point from Deshaun Watson as the quarterback for us to believe in this team yet? I don't really get it. I know the Ravens defense can be suspect, but That one to me is, I don't know. There were threes out there. You'd rather get the key number of 3 as opposed to 2.5.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be all over Cleveland here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, all over Cleveland. I think Watson, he's got a couple games under his belt right now. He's got that connect. Donovan Peoples-Jones is moving the ball. Again, look at the context. They lost to the Bengals. The Bengals might be the best team in the NFL right now. Like, legitimately, they might be. They're playing at a really high level. They've got a lot of great pieces. There's no shame in losing to the Bengals. And Deshaun Watson moved the ball. He's got 2 games under his belt. He's going up against a weak secondary here. He's going to, the Browns are going to be teeing off on Tyler Huntley. Yeah, Huntley can move the ball, but like, who's he throwing to? like you've got J.K. Dobbins, who does not look good right now. You've got Mark Andrews, who does not look good right now. Mark Andrews hasn't gone for over 60 yards since like week 3.
Yep.
I think the Browns are going to crush the Ravens here. I really do. I think this is going to be Deshaun Watson's kind of like comeback. He's going to start to look a little bit better, and he's going to move the ball a little with his legs. And love this spot for the Browns. And again, and come right back to it, man. This is just another soccer spot. Everyone is betting the Ravens.
Yeah.
Oh, +3. The Ravens just beat the Steelers.
Guilty.
Oh my God. Plus money on the Ravens to the money line. Deshaun Watson sucks. Deshaun Watson was the second best quarterback in the NFL 2 years ago. Like, I don't care what you think about him off the field. He's better than Tyler Huntley. Like, no, this is a great spot to get on the Browns, man.
All right, fine.
This is a spot, again, I already have circled. Like, I'll be on the Browns. I'm not even gonna. I know I'll probably have talked myself into the Seahawks a little bit, but if the number gets up to 4, it won't even be a long discussion. The Browns are on there. I'll just take them to cover. They're gonna win big.
All right, so I think I've picked 2 games in a row here that are good discussion points. Now I'll let your turn. What jumps out to you for the rest of the week?
Yeah, so another spot I'm interested in, and this one keeps climbing, man. Jags, the Jacksonville Jaguars, +5. Look.
Oh, yeah.
When this boils down to it, Mike McCarthy versus Doug Peterson. You want Mike McCarthy to cover you 5 points on the road? Go ahead. I'll take Doug Peterson. Jaguars are cooking right now. Again, they got smoked by the Lions. It was an obvious letdown spot. The Lions are playing really good. Context is everything. They went on the road. Lawrence got a little banged up in that game. What did they do last week? They just smoked the Tennessee Titans, a team who had won 3 straight, a great defensive line, and Lawrence picked them apart. And you know what? Like, I'm not saying he's going to pick apart the Dallas Cowboys secondary or this game won't be close. Of course it's going to be close, but there's a 5-point spread now. This line was like 2.5. What did it open at? 2.5, 3? I don't even know.
I'm not sure.
Like, no. Good. Let's get it up to 6. I'm taking the Jags. I'll take the Jags down to like 4 here. I think this will be a close game. Again, I think, I wouldn't be shocked if Dak pulled out a win, but
yeah,
no, I don't think this will be a blowout. I think this will be a very competitive game. The Jaguars are building confidence. They're a young team. Their secondary's got to hold up a bit, but I think they're going to be able to move the ball here. And people just, I mean, I don't know. I don't, and this one's a little, it's surprising, but it's not surprising because I said, I wonder if people get on the Jags here. And I started to think about it. I'm like, no, it won't happen. And I was right. I mean, people just saw that 2.5 line, whatever it was. It
was 3.5. I just found it. 3.5 was the opening line.
And just hammered the Cowboys. And I'll tell you, even at 3.5, I'll stand for Jacksonville here. I really think this game will be close. Doug Peterson knows the Cowboys. And you can say, oh, well, it was different. It was back then. No, it's similar team. It's Dak. It's the Cowboys. It's Zeke. He knows what he's going up against. I will take Doug Peterson here any day of the week with 5 points at home.
And while they didn't look great against the Lions, Trevor Lawrence, it's a pretty darn good performance. 30 for 42, 368, 3 touchdowns.
I mean, that's 2 out of the last 3 games that Trevor Lawrence is like, you've got to look here and be like, this is a really, really good young quarterback that maybe people haven't clued into. Is really starting to get up. And like when you're getting 5 points at home with a guy like that, I mean, take notice. So,
and no semblance of a running game. I mean, Etienne was not great.
Yeah, last week. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So folks might be a little overzealous about Dallas bouncing back, but on the road as a dog. these are the three games I thought with Dallas. I thought going in, they played who'd they play last week? They played Houston. And they played, who was the team they played the week before? It was a bad team.
God, yeah, they just smoked them too. Was it? Wasn't the Giants? No,
it might have been No, it was the Giants. You're right. Thanksgiving. Yeah, you're right.
Was it? Okay. Yeah, this schedule's so weird. You're right. I can't even remember what happened.
I can't keep track of it either. It's like it feels like it was 2 weeks ago, but it was really just a week and a half. No, but looking at the Cowboys schedule, the Colts. There it is.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's again like the game. It was like on Monday night.
That was a close game, though. That was a 22-21 game. Weird, wacky fourth quarter, 33 points, which had been done before in NFL history. But I was really curious after the Giants win, which they didn't cover, what the spread would look like for Indy with Jeff Saturday, the Texans, who really, outside of yesterday, look like they're not interested in winning games, and the Jaguars. And I figured of all three, Jacksonville will be probably their closest game. Maybe not. Indy are only up one late in the third quarter. Texans, you have to use a 98-yard drive to win that game.
Yep.
I think it's a little too much respect. So I think what you're saying is you can wait. You can also wait on this one too, possibly. Not too long.
I think at some point the Sharps will get on this and drop it back, but I think that it may have a little bit more room. Like I think if this settled around 4.5, it wouldn't shock me because I think that there's people. There's some big money out there that will see this move up to 5 and say and wait. They're probably waiting right now, see if they can get it up to 6. But I think this one may settle at 4.5. But it'll settle at 4.5 because some big money will come in and push it back down. All right, values with Jacksonville, no question in my mind.
I think that's good stuff. All right, so there's a few games for you coming up in the week. That's why we have the whole week to talk about them. So that's great. The Thursday night game is Seattle, San Francisco. We hit on that briefly. 3 games Saturday and a full slate on Sunday, Monday Night Football as well. All right, we need to go at 6:00. Thanks to our crew behind the scenes, Eamon and Andrew, for Jeff Ulrich, Brendan Glasheen. Have fun tonight watching the game, everybody. Cardinals, Patriots to wrap up week 14. Watch all of our content this week. You can catch the sweat at 11 a.m. They'll be looking ahead to week 15 like we did tonight, and they were already doing so today. So enjoy, and we'll catch you all next time. See you later.